Hello and welcome to Thought for Today. For today, the great Anglican priest of pastoral care, the Reverend Roy Bradley, died almost 3 years ago at the age of 91. And Roy, more than anyone, was responsible for bringing clinical pastoral education to Australia, CPE as it is usually called, an experiential method which transformed the teaching of pastoral care away from that which was solely based on a book-based method of training in pastoral care. And most Anglican clergy and many lay people today do CPE in their training. And Roy's definition of pastoral care is that it is the art of helping people remain open to the mystery of God through the power of redemptive relationships. It's a beautiful and thoughtful definition about opening of new possibilities of hope, understandings of life, of themselves, of God's mysterious presence, and of the power of redemptive relationships in bringing this about. We can understand this phrase in many different ways, but all of them seem to be about saving. Redemption of lives is about saving, being somehow rescued or enabled to move from something harmful to life to something or somewhere life-giving. And there are a multitude of experiences of this transition that might be thought of in our own lives, for we have all had people or circumstances, even mysterious circumstances, that have brought such transitions about in our lives or made them possible. And thanks be to God for these, which for some of us will have meant the difference between life and death. Last week, I talked about Bishop Richard Holloway's book, Waiting for the Last Bus, Reflections on Life and Death, especially on the theme of free will and how we are to forgive others and ourselves for sins and frailties, so that lives are not crippled by remorse. Holloway moves on then to look at Peter's 3 betrayals of Jesus at his crucifixion and what is revealed to Peter in this, and the later story at the beach of Peter being asked 3 times by Jesus if he loves him. And in both sets of stories, Peter's character is revealed, firstly as being grandiose, weak, and lacking self-understanding, but in the second story as also having a genuine love for Jesus, who understands and has compassion on his weakness, and shows him that it is this love which Peter has, which will ultimately be more important. It is Jesus' empathy, compassion, and forgiveness that redeems Peter and transforms him. Now, if we think of the passage over time, in these last several months of the impact of the coronavirus in our society and what it's done to us all, and not only in Victoria or Australia, but in the world, I think. Well, at least we see here in our own experience in this country, that what has redeemed us, sustained us to this point in time to get through this, is the pastoral care that we have all given to one another, enabling us to hold together and find healing. Mysteriously, for a time at least, that we're struggling to hold on to that time, we have found we can be inclusive, compassionate, and understanding of one another. The future calls us to continue to strive to be like this. We're all called to be pastoral carers, one to another, and it is this that will ultimately redeem us. So let us ask for God's blessing upon our endeavours to do this as we continue to struggle. God bless us all.